trading bounce.
Let's welcome in our first guest of the program here. Atul Suri is with us. Atul, happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
A high five.
How are you doing?
All great, Brad.
Thank you for dropping by.
It's always nice.
On
It's
Diwali
been
day.
such a tradition, and I've always enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a Sunday and a holiday, but still, we are here.
How is the
It's
market?
just the passion for the market, actually.
Absolutely. It was great that you've kind of gotten in here. It's adding to our festive fervor as well.
And no traffic, right? It's clean.
Awesome. That's why I've been here enjoying a nice cup of coffee.
How's the market looking? I was saying earlier that do we have a line of sight for the previous highs? You think it's there?
I think so. I think it's much beyond that. Most people feel that there is this element of, we've run up a lot and there's a euphoria, there are bubbles some other places. But, Prashant, if you look at it like on a one-year basis, what has the Nifty done? It's not even beaten almost FD returns. Even 2 years, if you look at it. So the fact is that the euphoria is in some pockets, right? But overall, per se, our market actually has been consolidating for the last 2 years. And that is why the setup is very good. Because, very often if you have a 30, 40-year kind of move here, the year after that is very difficult to build on it. But the fact is, I think if you look at markets, not just 1 year, because of course it's Diwali somewhat to somewhat, but if you pull it back 3-4 years, what we've done is just a 5-6% Nifty for back-to-back 2 years. So there's no real bubble or euphoria really that there is. And I think that is a very good positive and a base. So when you talk about a sight, a clarity, when the clarity or breakouts happen from long basis of consolidations, that's when the momentum comes in. So I feel that the bull market in India is about to start.
About to start.
Yes. Now the issue that comes up is that people think small and mid caps, right? Because obviously that's a different story. What's it like, 30% or I don't know, some number that
Or 25% for the year.
25, yeah. But the fact is, let's go back and see 2 years. The year prior to that, they were down 14-15%. So that's what I'm trying to say, that, on a 1 to 1 year basis, a lot of numbers look flattering. But you just enlarge your vision. So you realize that, yes, some stocks have done well. But the interesting part is the stocks and sectors you are speaking about, who had them? PSU banks. It was a dead sector for a decade. Real estate, I think it's the best performing sector. Who was touching real estate? I mean, none of the stocks were 2008 levels. So the thing is that, yes, there are some pockets where there's euphoria, but the fact is overall the markets, I think, have been kind of in a consolidative range. Because ultimately, remember, 70-80% of allocation of funds, investors, are towards those large caps. Small and mid-cap funds have done very well. You have seen flows. But broadly, I think markets have consolidated, which is, I think, a very good setup. Because now when breakouts happen, I think they tend to have a lot more momentum. And it's not just India, it's global in nature. If you pull back. And obviously, as we discussed, Prashant and I have discussed earlier, it's the killer is the bond yields. As long as bond yields go from 50 bips to 500, I mean, that is once in 40-year event. We experienced that. And you don't expect equities to do too well. But now the good part is that as bond yields come off, I feel that that's going to be a very big trigger for global markets. And I feel that India is showing absolute leadership. All those markets are struggling to get to 52-week highs. We are talking about lifetime highs. And how far are we there from? 3%, 4%?
We've got market opening coming up. So we'll just kind of look at what the open, etc. is going to be, and then we'll come back and discuss more with Atul. This is going to be a good session, a good Mahurat session. Look at the pre-open and where it has left us with 100+ points on the Nifty, and I think, 500 points on the Sensex. In the pre-open session. So just counting down 30, 40 seconds or so. And it's going to be a good one. And of course, I mean, tomorrow morning we'll come back and recap what happened today and then pick up from there.
The good thing is that we've done the Monday morning reading and prep already. So the markets, that digesting the good session on Friday, it's already happened.
We'll wrap up the hour and a half today, but it's going to be a good one, Surabhi.
Absolutely. So I think we're just waiting for the bell to go off at the exchanges. And the opening pop should be around 120 odd points. But talk about leadership. Coal India, ONGC, these are some of the names on top. Titan looks like it'll start off positive. Had a weak Friday. Titan was cooling off as we were getting down into the Diwali weekend. But it looks like it'll start positive.
Those are shots, by the way, coming from the NSE as well.
All the excitement.
The bell being rung. We'll have values, I think, with us shortly. And we've
got the trades in here. 400 points up on the Sensex to kick this session off. A full century on the Nifty, and why not? India's playing so well, in the game as well. So I guess the bulls are off on a strong wicket over here. 100 points up on the Nifty. Mid-cap's not bad, about 0.8% up on the mid-cap index as well. So that string of outperformance in the mid-caps, that's been the hallmark of this year. That's continuing in the Muhurat session as well. Quickly, just a checklist on the Nifty winners of the hour. Coal India is right on top, 2.5% on the upside. NTPC is the other one. You have some of the IT names like Infosys and Wipro that are looking good. Titan, as I mentioned, it started off positive. And some of the auto stocks are bouncing back. M&M, Aisha. There's some in fact, look at this. I mean, apart from SBI Life, which has a minor ₹1 downtick, it's a positive, auspicious start. Almost all Nifty stocks in the green.
Well, indeed, Surabhi, things are looking good. And I'll tell you what, the last few days we went around 19,470, I think. So, and we did a bit of a U-turn from there. So, low volume day, the bulls have taken advantage of that, and we're up close to around 100 points odd. From the broader markets, but the reason that Coal India, by the way, is up is because they gave a dividend of close to around 15 rupees, and the numbers look better than what the sheet was working with. So that's one of the reasons that stock was higher in trade as well. SAIL, well, the numbers looked a little bit mixed because there was a one-time impact in there. But, they've reduced their debt as well by close to around 4,000 crores on a sequential basis. Some inventory freeing up. So the street likes that. That stock has opened up mildly in the green as well. And a few other notable names. Biocon is higher. Indiabulls Housing Finance is higher. And MCX as well is building on gains. What a dream run it's had in the past 1 year or so. And that one continues as well. So good times, guys.
I mean,
advanced decline ratio, 10:1.
Yeah, absolutely. 100 points higher. Just a few more names. Look at BSC. We'll actually go across to the exchanges. Our colleagues Yash Jain, he's at the Bombay Stock Exchange, and our colleague Rachna is at the NSE, and we'll sort of, get you what's happening in both those places in a bit from now. But the BSE is up 6.5%. The BSE stock, it's a top volume-led gainer across the board, and what a huge momentum mover it has been. 2140 on BSE. Quest Corp is up 7%. If you can have some of these names up. So BSE, Quest Corp, there is, I think Tube Investments is up about 5% or so. There is Medanta, which is up about 4.5–5%. Lots of names moving higher. Greenply. Volumes, of course, I mean, it's a Sunday after all. It's a Mahurat session, so volumes will be on the lower side. But, well, I can't fret about that. It's a good-looking screen with a 100-point higher kind of start. Where do you expect to see the most strength from here, Atul?
I think that the continuation of the move in capital goods, engineering, infra. I feel that India is going through a massive shift in the whole capex cycle. And these sectors, the good point is that, I like things which have not moved for decades. And when they see a revival, the upside is massive. The trends tend to be large. And these sectors and themes have not done much. They have just seen a little bit of a 6-month or a 1-year kind of run. I have a feeling that this is going to be the big theme which is going to dominate the markets for the next few years. Obviously, there are pockets like real estate has done very well. Again, a sector that's done nothing. I find that the most interesting place will be the whole digital and tech place. A lot of these stocks, when they listed about 2 years ago, it was euphoric and they fell 60, 70, 80%. But I think a lot of them have got their act together. You're seeing profitability in these. And if bond yields, as I said, that's the mothership, tends to come off, I feel that you will see a revival of these plays globally. And I think a lot of these stocks will take out their earlier highs. And I guess there are going to be pockets. The big thing I really want to talk about, Prashant, is the fact that most people think that small and mid caps are bubble, that there is euphoria, etc. Yes, valuations have got stretched somewhere, but I don't think that it's going to be across the board. I feel that there are some companies coming out with very good numbers. A lot of industries seeing a very good revival. And I think if you are backed by good numbers, I feel there's still a redo of what happened last year in these spaces. Of course, we'll be selective per se, but there's no need to get, so worried, which was my earlier thing, that people think that, just because last 3 to 6 months have been good, that's it. It's too expensive, blah, blah, blah. I think the trend is much bigger. The story is much bigger. And we are pretty early in this bull market. That's my kind of feel that I have on the market.
Okay, Atul, stay with us. Let me also bring in Mr. Ramesh Damani, who's with us. He's a member at the Bombay Stock Exchange.
Welcome back to our special coverage of Diwali Mahurat Trading 2080. Well, Atul's still with us in the studio. Atul, you gave us a fair gist about how you view these markets, and obviously things are looking quite upbeat. But give us a couple of numbers then. On the Nifty, you've been maintaining the 21,500 in this fiscal, and it appears we should be on, right, going by the data points that we have. So give us a 1-year target for the Nifty. Post that, historically, my colleagues were telling us that we normally have a 10% rally at least, in that election year. Yeah. And also one pocket, which you really like. I think you briefly mentioned digital. The last time we chatted, you mentioned mid-cap IT, I think so.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So, see, an index target, let's take 21,500. See, it's not, the number really is a question of direction. Whether it's 21,500, 22, the question is that as an investor.
The trend is up.
Yeah. I mean, how would you position yourself? The positioning is that you need to buy on corrections.
Yeah.
That is what this market's offering you. Let's see the correction we had last 2 months, right? The Nifty fell 7%. Globally, markets fell 10, 12%. In fact, the small cap index only fell 5%, which is where there was supposed to be a bubble, right? So the interesting part is that...
And the small cap index is back at a new high.
Absolutely, absolutely.
When it's pulling 3,000, 4,000 crores every month.
But these are characteristics of bull markets and the bull pockets that there are, that even when corrections happen, traditionally the small cap would have fallen 2x of Nifty.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So the fact is that I'm just trying to reiterate the point that I started with, that just because we've run up in the last 6 months, the party is not over. I personally think that the trend has just started. We don't know 1 week, 1 month, but if bond yields remain on the calmer side, I feel that globally, equities per se on headline numbers have not done much for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes, there are a few pockets that have done well. We are talking about it. We spoke to Ramesh ji also about it. But broadly, as I said, you know, that the top 5 stocks, I mean, this is a show, we haven't spoken about HDFC Bank.
No, we haven't.
We haven't spoken about Kotak. We haven't spoken about Reliance.
Ritik has not done.
Exactly.
The Ritik
So the
stock.
fact is that the 50% of the market, which is important and which is in everyone's portfolio by way of whatever funds they hold, has actually been very quiet. So the thing is that broadly the market is coming out of a nice sedate 2-year consolidative phase, and when breakouts happen after consolidation, I think there is a good amount of energy that goes in. And I think that there is going to be continuation. As I said, the whole capex cycle turning is going to be a far-reaching impact on a lot of stocks, especially in the mid and small caps.
But you've not answered second half of Nigel's question.
I feel a dark horse. Tip to,
It's a bad word. I used it deliberately.
but I think a dark horse sector would be, I think, the whole digital play.
Okay.
All these companies were listed about 2 years ago. They came in fantastic IPOs, etc. And post that, they've corrected 60, 70, 80%. Investors lost a lot of money and faith.
Yes.
But the interesting thing that I'm noticing in the last 1 or 2 quarters is that profitability has started emerging in some of these stocks.
Indeed.
And whether you like it or not, the ultimate jet fuel to propel these rockets is earnings. Once earnings come, these sectors and stocks, you've already seen the recovery. I feel that they will take out their listing highs very soon. And the beauty about this sector is when you understand it, that the profitability does not grow in arithmetic progression, it is geometric progression. That is the way these businesses are structured. So I feel that if you are able to look at companies where profitability is visible, the traction is coming in, I feel that there's a lot of money to be made there. Because in your lives and our lives, if you see, one product that we are all consuming consistently every week, every month more, are all these things, and we are surrounded by that.
Absolutely. Atul, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Diwali once again.
Same to you.
Happy Diwali,
And,
Atul.
speak to you soon again. Thank you very much.
Happy Diwali to all the viewers.
We'll take a very